Wayne's in Coventry. Wayne, what does Galloway's victory tell us?
Yeah, good afternoon, Tom.
Hello.
Thanks for taking my call. Regarding George Galloway, there's always a lot of hyperbole regarding him, whatever he does. I mean, from this morning on, with Nick Ferrari onwards and throughout the day, coming out with the same old things about Big Brother. I mean, he's kind of taking the mick. Don't forget, he was on that show and he had to do those things to earn tasks, to earn food for other people. But that's by the by. You're on about he's only talking about Gaza. Well, that's nonsense. If you listen to his speech last night, he's been talking about local issues from day one, even to the football club. And the local A&E that's been shifted out, I think, to Bolton, and all the local services.
But he did say.
It just seems to me. Excuse me, Tom. It just seems to me that the mainstream media can't handle a strong candidate.
Well, the mainstream media can handle strong candidates. The mainstream media has had strong candidates for elections on the mainstream media before, so I don't.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's true.
Do they take the mickey out of most people that stand for election, as the way they are doing with Mr. Galloway?
I think politicians would say they are the butt of quite a lot of jokes. That's what satire tends to be about.
I do get that, Tom, but more, like I say, there's a lot of hyperbole when it seems to come to George Galloway. And
well, hang on, is it hyperbole to worry or to question the man who's just been elected, who described what happened in Bucha in Ukraine as a false flag operation to drag Russia into a war that they were already in?
Well, that is up for debate still, surely.
What do you mean? In what sense is it up for debate?
Well, yeah.
Is it up for debate that it was a false flag operation, Wayne?
I've seen footage in the middle of Kiev with upside down cars, blown up in the middle of the street, and the cars are upside down, and there's a bit of footage. But all the buildings around it, there's no shrapnel and nothing.
Right. So your expertise in warfare leads you to...
No, all I'm saying, if them cars were to be blown up in that fashion, all I'm saying is there would have been shrapnel across buildings. But you're diversing me. All I'm saying, Tom...
When I'm asking you said that there is an argument to be had about whether it's a false flag operation. I'm saying there isn't an argument to be had if what you're saying is, I think it's a false flag operation based on nothing. That's not an argument.
Well, are you saying false flags don't go on?
I'm saying you need to have evidence. Just saying it isn't good enough.
Well, I mean, the point I'm trying to make, Tom, is he's already getting a hard time. He's not even stepped a foot into Westminster yet. And why is everyone scared about it?
All right, Wayne, thank you. Yousef's in Doha, in Qatar. Hi, Yousef.
Hi, Tom. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Tom, I'm frankly sick of everybody in LBC, everyone, all journalists saying that this Galloway guy is all Muslims support him. Frankly, I'm a Muslim and I can't stand the guy. I despise him. The guy is one of the biggest grifters you'll ever see in UK politics. He doesn't give a damn about Rochdale, just like he didn't give a damn about Bradford West, just like he didn't give a damn about Bethnal Green. The guy just uses Muslims to end his further political goals. I'll give you an example. The biggest killer of Muslims and Arabs this century is the war butcher in charge of Damascus. Have you heard this guy speak about Bashar al-Assad? But what?
Yeah,
in fact, he supports them.
Yeah.
That's the clear example. And shame on these Muslims in Rochdale voting this guy. This guy doesn't care about Palestinians. There are 5,000 Palestinians who were killed in Yarmouk camp in Syria. He didn't even say a word about this scum. This guy is an utter scum. I'm sorry to swear on national radio. But frankly speaking, he was exposed in Bradford West. He'll be exposed in Rochdale. The people of Rochdale eventually will get to him after they realize, after 3 or 4 months there, he does nothing, no constituency work. It's all a game to him. And frankly speaking, it's a shame on these Muslims. Honestly, they are completely hopeless. No brains,
Yousef,
no thinking, useless.
Listen, I think you put your point very well. The only thing I would say is I can't speak for my colleagues, and I don't intend to, but I don't think, and I find it, I've said before, I find it really lazy when you say, oh, that's the Muslim vote, or that's the middle class vote, or that's the female vote, as if all people of a particular type or description have a single homogenous view. It's completely wrong. Not all, as you explained, not all Muslims think that George Galloway's the sun shines out of him at all.
Yeah. Frankly speaking, the thing you don't understand is Muslims in general, like I said, are not a homogeneous group. You all have different viewpoints, different political ideas. I mean, to be frank, what's happening in Gaza, as bad as it is, will not stop until Hamas is already eradicated. There are thousands of Muslims who can't stand Hamas. Yahya Sinwar and Mohammed Deif, these two guys who were in charge of the massacre on October 7th, these guys are hiding underground where the people are getting bombed from the sky by the Israelis. They led their people to complete destruction. And yet Muslims seem to think, oh, it's the Israelis to be bombed. 8,000 Gazans were given jobs by Israelis. There are Gazans who are in Israeli hospitals being treated. No one talks about this. All we hear about is how bad things are. Well, who started this problem? That's the problem with a lot of Muslims. It's a pack mentality.
But do you mind me, Yousef, do you mind me asking, are you Muslim yourself?
Yes, I am a Muslim. Yes, right. Of course, I'm a Muslim, and that's the thing. You go to the Middle East, Tom. You see, you hear a lot about this Gaza situation in England, obviously, with all the people protesting, white middle class, white people who have no idea, can't even speak a word of Arabic, saying ceasefire, this ceasefire. You go to Gaza themselves and absolutely watch the Arabic shows or Arabic TVs and commentaries. You will see the people of Gaza are absolutely sick. They're sick. They're cursing Sinwar, they're cursing Deif. They're saying you were supposed to liberate Al-Aqsa Mosque, and in fact you brought the destruction of the Israeli war machine into our doorsteps. You go to the ground and you will see Hamas is so unpopular, really, really unpopular. And the only thing Hamas relies right now is the international community saying, oh, there's too much casualties. Israel stop the war. Please, let's go back. Let's have a ceasefire. That's the only thing Hamas is relying on. They know they can't win this war. They know they'll lose this war. So that's all. The only thing they have left is the blood of the Palestinians. And unfortunately, there's so many idiots in England who are falling for this. Ask them for a simple question. Everyone who's protesting, I have to ask them one simple question. That is, if you want a ceasefire, if you really, really want a ceasefire, all you have to do is ask Yahya Sinwar and Deif to surrender, give the hostages back. If they don't want to surrender, fine, leave Gaza, but surrender the control of Gaza to the Ator completely, even to the Palestinian Authority, as corrupt as they are. Just surrender Gaza for all. The war will stop tomorrow. But you know, the truth is, Tom, they don't want to say that. You know why? Because majority of these people back Hamas. They're with Hamas. They don't want to say it to your face, but they actually, even the Muslims, most Muslims I speak to, they back Hamas. But when you speak to them, they say, oh, you know, the massacre was bad, but there's always
Yousef, listen, I don't know how many people back Hamas. All I know is one of them rang this programme last night, and I thought it was absolutely shocking. I thank you so much for your call. It's great to know that you're listening to us out there in Doha and Qatar. And I have to say, listen, I gave Yousef the time to speak, and I find what he's saying, honestly, refreshing. I haven't heard a lot of that, and I think he's absolutely right.